Oh, hello. Welcome to Classic Value Investors and Microcap Explosions. This is Mariusz Konieczny. I want to talk about an interesting topic today because I've been investing in various different exchanges around the world, but most of the time when I invest, I focus on the US and Canada. And over the years of investing, I came to the conclusion that Canadians don't know what they have in terms of the fantastic exchange that they have. And you see, in Canada, you have Toronto Stock Exchange, but you also have Toronto Stock Exchange Venture, TSXV, and then you have Canadian Stock Exchange. You see, those are like venture exchanges where companies that don't qualify to be on NASDAQ, they can trade there. And it's much cheaper to trade there. And US doesn't have a venture exchange. US has OTC market, which sometimes serves as kind of like a venture exchange, but it's not really a venture exchange. So in the US, the companies that go public, the venture part of that is private. So companies are financed by venture capitalists and then privately, and then when the company grows big enough, then it can go onto NASDAQ and become publicly traded, and the venture capitalists cash out entirely or partly when the shares are sold to the public. But you see, in Canada, small companies can become publicly traded either on Canadian Stock Exchange. Canadian Stock Exchange is also called an exchange for entrepreneurs, or TSX Venture, which is a different exchange. But those companies in Canada, they can be tiny. They can have no revenues, like for example mining stocks, and they can become publicly traded, which would not be possible on NASDAQ. And that's why I think the Canadians really don't appreciate what they have. And US is kind of lives in its own bubble, and a lot of US investors don't even realize that TSX Venture or Canadian Stock Exchange, that they exist. And I see it all the times because, you see, when I went through all of the companies listed on both TSX Venture and Canadian Stock Exchange, most of them, for me, I'm not interested in, because as you know, my opinion about mining, I don't have any interest in them anymore. So I kind of look for great businesses with some technology, a lot of scale, kind of look for businesses that have moats, like Warren Buffett explained. And so I'm looking for real businesses with real customers. And out of all the companies that trade on these exchanges, there's not a lot of those companies, because venture exchanges in nature are exchanges that are for companies that are not super established, right? But then you can find those that have great products, great customers. And what's interesting about the situation is that, you see, if you read my book, The Microcap Investor, which is on microcapexplosions.com for free, you can download it. You don't even have to give me an email or anything. You see an explanation of how TSX Venture was formed, and it was kind of formed by a merger of different exchanges. One exchange was focused on mining, another exchange was focused on oil and gas, and then the third exchange was focused on technology companies. So it kind of got brought together, but that's why there are so many mining companies and so many oil and gas companies on that exchange. But there's also some regular companies, some technology companies. And what I'm seeing on this exchange is that Canadians, and don't take it the wrong way, but a lot of Canadians just understand three areas: mining, right? Life sciences, and cannabis, pot. That's what they're interested in. And it just makes me laugh, because there's so many great, fantastic businesses out there, but Canadians don't want to look at it. And because US people don't want to pay attention to Canadian stock exchanges, those companies are kind of like incredible arbitrage because they are ignored by the Canadians, they are unknown to Americans, and when if you're more entrepreneurial in nature and you want to go to these places and look for those businesses, you can get them when people don't really want them. But I have two companies right now that are in that position, and they are both interested within the next year to graduate from those exchanges to NASDAQ. And you know what happens when a company goes to NASDAQ. NASDAQ is known for technology, right? A lot of technology investors go to NASDAQ. So you can go to these Canadian exchanges, get those companies before they go to NASDAQ, and then they're going to get re-rated when they get to NASDAQ. So anyway, I just thought I would put these thoughts out there. I find it very interesting that I wish US had a venture exchange because some incredible companies are there. But I think this structure is better, that US people don't go there because they're not aware of it. Canadians don't really care too much about the great companies because they are busy getting high on marijuana, busy looking for gold, silver, and busy for looking for some pharma stocks that have great upsides and no revenues, and they completely ignore those kinds of companies. Anyway, that's it for this video. Have a good one.